Welcome in. Hey, guys, just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. You know, those of you watching Life After 3, you know, you guys can watch it on the Brinks TV app and the Killcliff TV app, and you can watch it across the YouTube channel, Killcliff. Go subscribe there and hit it and let us know what you think. And actually on the app, the Killcliff TV app, you guys can go there, register your email, get in, do that same thing with Brinks TV. You guys can do that, get on in. You guys can do trivia. You guys can win prizes. There's a whole lot of different things you can do. And with that said, I also wanted to mention thank you to Killcliff because they sponsor me and we're here and we're doing this amazing show. But the thing that I always like to talk about is the Killcliff Engage. Here's my fruit punch. Fruit punch is amazing. Nice, clean drinks, no sugar. You got a lot of good electrolytes in there. And I'm a big fan of the CBD, especially the orange mango CBD that my friends at Killcliff have sent me because my mom has some arthritic stuff and it does very, very well for her. And she's 74 and we have stairs here at the house and she's able to go up and down freely. With no pain, and thanks to Killcliff for that. If you guys want to tune in, you guys can go in, like I said, to the Killcliff TV YouTube channel, the app, Killcliff TV app, and the Brinks.TV app as well. If you guys want to get some swag and get some more drinks and get some things going, go to the Killcliff.com website for everything. Killcliff drinks, swag, hats, and memorabilia, and away you guys go. Guys, I'm real excited today. I have a very, very cool guy, a friend, amigo, camarada, carnal, whatever you want to call him. I met this guy in 2020 and we just hit it off. Little did we know that we had such a love for music and professional wrestling. He's turned into somebody that I talk to quite often. We share a lot of ideas. We have a lot of musical things that we talk about. He's none other than the one and only Charlie Parra. Welcome in, homie.
Hey, Marty, so nice to have the chance to chat with you, to talk to you here in your podcast. I'm really honored to be here, so thanks for having me.
No problem, bro. Thank you. Hey, you know, did you like that music intro? Did it kind of sound familiar to you?
Absolutely. That sounded pretty badass. I'm pretty happy that that's the intro music, to be honest. And those animations and stuff, it's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah. You know, the Killcliff team, Courtney and such, you know, they did an amazing job on this. And I'm so grateful to be here and have this, you know. So, hey, you know, let's jump right into it, man. And let's tell everybody how we met at the NAMM show in 2020, man. Go ahead. I want to hear what you got to say. Go ahead.
Well, actually, it's because I go to NAMM pretty often. Not like pretty often, but I've had the chance to go there 3 times, which is not, you know, which is a lot for a guy from Peru. Mm-hmm. And I've always went there to perform at the Gibson booth with Kramer Guitars USA, given the fact that I'm actually the first South American signature artist from the brand.
So signature artist means that you have your own guitar, right?
Yes. I started, you know, with on 2015 with the first my first signature guitar. And actually, it did so well, like it sold so well that now there's a second one, like a new model, a brand new signature guitar. Yeah, it's been quite. I feel like
congratulations, man.
Thank you so much. I feel like, you know, hard work paid off. And,
and the fact, you know, that you're such an amazing player, dude, but the fact that you're such a good dude, because this photo right here is from the Victory Amps party that we attended. You want to give a little story on this photo and before this photo and how we took this photo?
Oh, totally. I remember going this just to get in context. That was a Victory Amps party, right? Like the after NAMM party.
Yes.
So what I do remember is like getting into the party, and I don't know exactly what I said, but I think I said something pro wrestling related.
You did.
It could have been a woo or maybe a oh yeah. I don't know what I said, but you definitely turned around and said, "Hey, this guy knows about professional wrestling because he just did something, you know, familiar."
Yeah.
And then we started talking, and man, it was so cool. I actually couldn't believe that you were you.
Me?
That's how that you were you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that we started talking and you told me everything you were doing, and the fact that I noticed that, hey, I know you, it was really fun. It was really fun. I think that the fact that we started talking there, you know, just because I'm a part of the brand and of Victory Amps, you know, it's like some things are meant to happen. You know, it's like at first I was not able to go to that meeting because I had the Gibson party, right?
Yeah.
But actually, Aslin, she texted me and told me, hey, we're having a barbecue party and everything. I said, I'm so going there. And man, I mean, from that little chat we had in that picture, you know, a lot of good things started to happen, man. I gotta say that big part of the great things that have been happening to me on year 2022, year 2021, which has been a hard year for everyone around the world.
Yeah, because of this pandemic.
Yeah, I gotta say that it was one of the best years of my life. I cannot believe that I said that, because it started as one of the worst.
Yes,
right? But I gotta say that I gotta tell you, man, if it wasn't because of you, I wouldn't have had such an amazing year, man. And I will always be grateful for that.
Dude, you're too kind, man. Too kind.
It took you like 2 minutes of your life to, you know, change another man's life. And
Dude, we're going to get into that. And, you know, I'm really taken aback by your kind words, dude. I really appreciate that. But, you know, like going back to when we met, I'm thinking about it right now. And what you said, what really caught my ear at that party is you said, if you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. The DX.
Really?
Yeah. And that's what I turned around and I went, do you like professional wrestling? And he go, yeah, bro. And then you proceeded to show me your tattoo, your NWO tattoo on your chest.
Yeah, it's actually the Scott Hall speech tattoo. Yeah.
Yeah. So you showed that to me and I went, so wrestling fan? So we just started talking wrestling and then you started telling me about your love for it and stuff. And it was funny because I had even told you, because we started talking in Spanish at first.
Yeah. That's right.
And I had told you, I said, you look very familiar, but I can't place you. I know we've met before and I know we've seen each other, but I just can't place you. So then we just started talking and then the wrestling talk started coming up. And then I told you who I was. And, you know, it just progressed from there, man.
Of course, man. It just did a great progress, man. I was like, man, I'm having a drink with legend. And
you're too kind.
Yeah, man, it was really fun. And, you know, surprising how life, you know, makes these things happen. I'm really grateful for that.
Thank you, man. You know, it's been a journey. It's been so much fun. And unfortunately, you know, like that was our last time, you know, that we were together, because the fact that this pandemic is really shut things down, unfortunately, for the whole world, not just us, for the whole world and stuff. But we've been able to communicate and get things going and stuff. You know, I want to talk about your love for music, you know, because I know that you've been doing music for a long, long time. And, you know, how did you get started with music and how did you become the Eddie Van Halen of South America? You know? How did that happen?
That's an absolute extreme. That's too kind from you, man.
Look at that kid. Look at that kid right there.
Yeah. Actually, that's me aged 15. That's me aged 15. I didn't own my own electric guitar, so I went to a guitar expo and I had a picture with that guitar, which was a black.
Was that a Les Paul?
Les Paul. Yeah. I had quite a love for Les Pauls because I'm a fan of Slash, Jimmy Page. I really like Randy Rhoads Les Paul as well, Ace Frehley as well. But in the end, I started working in bars, playing guitar. My goal was to buy a Gibson Les Paul, and I got one. And after 6 hours of playing the guitar, I realized I was not a Les Paul guy at all. and I switched to flying B in the future. But yeah, man, I mean, my love for music started, in the funniest way. It was because I was such a bad student and I was such a, behavior issue kind of guy. I was a problem child, according to, my school teachers and therapists. Problem child. And yeah, you probably know this, that, they told my parents that they should get me, into guitar lessons and get me a guitar or become a musician, so I could, focus more and get more sensitive and maybe improve in, at school, in my school grades, which actually did not happen at all. But I already found the passion. And that's, the best thing of it all. I think that that therapist was so right about, finding a passion. And it was just like that. I said, now I know what I would really like to do, because my first idea was to be a Marine.
Yeah, that's interesting. Wow. Marine. Wow. Go in the Army and serve and everything, huh? Wow.
Yeah, that was a plan.
I really can't see you as a Marine. I really can't. And that, I'm not saying that as a bad thing, because I see you as Charlie Parra, the shredder and the guitar player that we know, man, because I think you were destined for that, man, because, when I see you pick up a guitar and I see you play or you send me stuff, dude, to me, it's just total magic. And, I tell you all the time, whenever you send me stuff or I see you play, I just get this big grin on my face, because you're so talented at what you do and it just comes so naturally. And, to see you just pick it up and it just like, flows, man. I just go, wow, I really would love to do that. But again, I like to say that I was blessed in the professional wrestling way, that whenever I got in a professional wrestling ring as a referee, that I was able to do what you do with the guitar, if that makes sense.
That makes absolutely sense, man. I mean, I think that if you told, that Charlie Parra, like the little kid, like the 15-year-old Charlie Parra borrowing guitars, all the things that were about to happen, I would never believe that. Like, it would be like, dude, you're not telling me, the truth. And I believe as well in your career, man, because you have so many historic moments, man. I mean, there's definitely like highlights, like everyone in their careers, but most of it is legendary, man. Most of it is legendary. So, man, it's like, I think it's a blessing to be involved with your passion.
Yes. Thank you. So let me ask you, were you 15 when you actually picked up a guitar and really tried to play it? Or did you have any lessons, or did you just do it on your own?
To be honest, I started playing Peruvian cajon, like, this like wooden box, like a percussive instrument. But then I switched to guitar because, this percussion thing was a program from Problem Child. And I really wanted to, get into more musical stuff, like melodic stuff, And I started, self-taught. But then I started to get, different guitar lessons from, different people. Never actually finished a course, to be honest. Or like, getting in, like music schools. There were a few music schools back then in Peru. One was called Master Music, which was, probably the only alternative music school here, because most of the schools here were classical music related, like folk music related, and that was definitely not my thing. But I think that the hunger to learn more, at the time there was no internet here. At least, maybe your father had to be a drug dealer, or, if you had the internet. But the thing was that I started studying by myself, like, searching for stuff, going to the underground stores and get, the actual albums and trying to play those, because, at the time when I was able to access the internet, it took like 3 days to download a song. So it wasn't worth it back then. It was, better, to, I don't know, go in and trying to purchase the album. But man, I tried to do it, that way, like getting the stuff and trying to make a band and trying to learn from people on stage. Like that was my goal, to learn from people that were already on stage.
So were there any particular people that you gravitated to that you went, oh man, I like what they're doing, or I like that music? Was there anybody in particular that you went, oh wow, I need to check this out more? Because I know you mentioned Slash and Eddie Van Halen, Randy Rhoads.
Yeah.
But who were some of the first guys that really just inspired you to go, oh my God, I need to go do this and do it well? Who were those guys?
Actually, you know, I wouldn't be able to say that from guitar players from my country, because I love how they play. I love their music. I love their songs and everything. But I don't think their careers are, you know, the careers I wanted to, you know, there were not the role models, or, you know, that I will, you know, try to, you know, emulate, or try to say, hey, I want to do what this person does. Not at all. But I gotta say that the first time I ever saw someone that I said, I could do this, and I should do this, was Michelangelo Badio. And that's because, not because of the double stuff, but one of the things that I realized was that he was performing without a band. Like the guitar was, you know, the singer, right? Like the guitar was, you know, speaking. And I said, I could do that if I go, you know, as a solo guitar player. And other things that I used to look up for was like the punk rock scene from the United States in the 80s. Because, you know, I think that I really enjoyed a lot of, you know, the metal stuff, like the long hair, the big hair, and the guitar shredding and solos and red guitars, right? But at the same time, I realized that at least for the people related to metal, they were so focused on getting signed, right? Like getting signed by a big label, like by a big record company and stuff. But I would think, but actually it's the year 2000. Not many people buy records anymore, at least not in South America, right? Or in Peru. It was more like a collector stuff. So that's one thing. I used to enjoy a lot of, you know, the punk rock scene from the 80s, because they were pretty much, you know, like do it yourself, go for it. You know, like, you know, nobody's going to sign us. We should just, you know, do our things, record ourselves, and go and play.
So did you feel, you know, that you were going to be more of like an independent guitar player instead of being in a band and stuff? Because, you know, earlier you said, you know, that you were inspired by Michael, because Michael has been like a soloist for years and years and years. And I know, you know, that he has some other stuff that he's done, but he's such a great player. And, you know, he's very melodic in what he does. And I see that with you too, that you're very melodic, and your guitar does sing. You know, there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys who can't make their guitar sing. Randy Rhoads is one of them. Michael, Yngwie, and you are the guys that I think really just make the guitar sing, and it has like a voice. It's very melodic to your playing.
You're too kind, man. Actually, I think I'm pretty far from that, but no, it was not. The first thing that I had in mind was not to be a solo guitar player. I always wanted to be in a band. But there was this time where I would appear to my bands and perform something, and they would say, no, that's too shreddy. No, that's too melodic. No, that's too 80s. And so I say, screw it. I'm going to do it. Anyways,
even if I got went for it, man.
Yeah, I said, I'm going to do it by myself. And, you know, it was the best thing I could do for my career, yourself, for anything. I think that everything would be so different if I never uploaded a YouTube video. Everything would be so different, man. We wouldn't even be talking right now.
Yeah. So, you know, you say things are different. You know, so what was the music scene like in Peru back then? I mean, you know, because you're this young kid guitar player trying to find your way and trying to, you know, see what you can do and maneuver and stuff. Was the music scene a rock scene? Was it a rock pop, or what was it back then? And what inspired you to go do it?
Back then, early 2000s, actually, the independent music scene, like, you know, it was new metal, rock,
Korn,
you know, like
Korn,
metal.
Kind of stuff?
I think that it hit really hard in South America. Like, I remember having friends from, the States that already told me that new metal was done back then. But in Peru, it was still a thing, right?
Yeah.
So, it was a lot of new metal, a lot of punk rock, melodic punk rock, like, the pop punk thing hit really hard here in South America. And maybe that's the reason why, that actually Difonia is a band that has a lot of, metal guitar solos and metal influences, but it's mostly like, a melodic punk rock influence on it as well. So
how did you get involved with Difonia?
We actually, that was one rehearsal I had with a drummer from my high school. And he was a punk rock fan, but I was a metal fan. So we did not have any songs in common at all. And so
it was like night and day, huh?
Yeah. And then we said, I think we should write our own music. And that's how the band started, because we had no songs in common. And we were definitely not going to play Sweet Child of Mine. So we said, okay, let's start from here and do our own music. And that's how it went. And I think it did good. And it was a good mix, at least. But at that time, we would play in emo shows, lots of emo shows, because emo was the thing. Emo was the thing. But we were not emo, but it was our scene back then. And of course, then we switched it to, a more like punk rock scene. Then we switched it to a more like, let's say, like a bigger festival scene. And, the band's still doing good. I mean, the band's still there, which is, kind of weird for a band with guitar solos and, fast drums. It's kind of weird, and even more weird in Peru.
So what was it like forming the band and getting out there in Peru and getting things going as a live performing band and going out on the road and touring and doing shows when you guys had this different backgrounds where it was punk and rock and heavy metal? So how did all that transpire for you?
Well, it was because maybe the best thing about it was that we found out that we wouldn't fit a lot of festivals and a lot of shows, because the punk rock guys would say, but you're metal, and the metal guys would say, but you're punk. So we said, hey, what if we start doing our own shows? And that was a great step for us. The only thing that we had against us was the gear thing. We did not have any gear. I only had a guitar and a cable. And, sometimes we would play and there wouldn't be any amps available. We would have to switch our guitars to radios. It was that bad. Yeah, it was that bad. I think about it and I still can't believe it, because to me back then, switching to a radio would sound amazing. But now that I think about it, I said, I can't believe we actually sold a few demos after playing on a radio speaker. Yeah. But it was that bad.
Yeah. So what was it like the first time that you got your first endorsement? I mean, what was that like?
I had a lot of endorsements here in Peru, but that's not actually a real endorsement. It's, it's a store gives you an instrument, and they tell you have to do 1 million things because we gave you an instrument.
Yeah.
You have to do 1 million things that even if this instrument is like $1,000, what you're going to do is probably work for us for like 5 years of your life. Wow. That's how it works here. So those are not real endorsements at all. Yeah. But my first real endorsement was with Kramer Guitars. It was my first real endorsement with Gibson. It was because we went to play in a festival in Colombia on 2010 with Difonia, actually. And one of the Gibson guys was there in the festival. It was like a 25,000 people festival. It was huge. It was big deal, man. And the guy was there, and he actually, it was the classic, executive guy with the tie and,
yeah.
And he comes to me and says, hey,
all proper. And hey, by the way, here's my card. One of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Typical.
Yeah.
Not like Alex, though. Alex, our guy, is awesome. Aslan,
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. He looked a little bit like Gerald Briscoe, actually.
Oh, wow.
But he comes to me, yeah. He comes to me and tells
reference.
me, yeah. And he comes to me and tells me, hey, man, I really like what you did there with your band. And here's my card. I would really like to have a talk with you. I'm from Gibson, Epiphone, and Kramer. And, we realize you like flying big guitars, and we make those. And I couldn't believe it, because he actually, I told him, let me introduce you to the band. He was, no, not the band. I want you to be in the roster, like you.
Really?
And yeah, and
that's really huge, dude. That's huge.
Yeah, I was really shocked about it, because what I thought was, how come in this festival there's so many people, and there's this guy here and gives me his card. I did not have a card at all. Yeah. I did not know how these things work back then.
Yeah, you didn't have social media. You didn't have all this stuff back then, right? It was just the guy seeing you.
Yeah. I was probably on MySpace. I was probably excited that I was
old
friends
school,
with.
Man.
Yeah, I was probably excited I was friends with Tila Tequila back then. But that's all I can't remember of that.
So that was your celebrity friend back then?
Yeah, I was so excited about it. But the thing is that when we got in touch with this guy, with the Gibson, Gerald Briscoe, he comes and tells me, well, tell me what your international tour dates are going to be. And I told him, actually, I have no international tour dates, because this was a festival invite. I perform actually locally. And yeah, I'm actually kind of starting in this. And he told me, look, sadly, I won't be able to endorse you right now, but let's keep in touch, okay? Because he actually told me, I trust that you're going to do good, whatever you do. And that was pretty much, that was pretty motivating, but at the same time, that was pretty sad. I felt like I had something and they took it away from me. Like one of, Chris Jericho just reminded me this line from the Metal Years, The Decline of the Western Civilization documentary.
Great movie.
It's like having a $1 million check and nowhere to cash it. That's exactly how I felt. I was really, really sad about it. Yeah. But
you had the check. But you had the check.
Yes, I had the check. That's the thing. I had the check.
Yeah.
And I started uploading stuff to the web, to YouTube, and it was a coincidence. I was, uploading this stuff for my friends, and mostly I would get 30 views, because there was 15 friends watching it once in a while, and they would, comment, hey, it was really cool, man, but you look like shit. Hey, man, next time comb your hair, that kind of friend stuff.
Yeah.
But one day I woke up and the video had 10,000 views. And I'm like, what? That was in year 2010. Wow. I was like, what?
Do you remember what video it was? Do you remember what video it was that you posted, or what song?
Yes, it was the Turkish March. The Turkish March by Mozart. I did a metal version of it. And then it started having 100,000 views, 200,000 views, and lots of comments. And then I said, this says subscribers. This means that people are subscribed to my channel. And I said, oh my God, I have 1,000 subscribers. That's a lot of people. And and then I realized, hey, what if I start doing this, besides playing in bars and stuff? And I started playing in this band called Massacre, Massacre, here in Peru. It's a super classic heavy metal band here, one of the first. And lots of their most loyal and old school fans were really pissed off that I was playing there. They were like,
why is that?
Because they were really pissed off that a punk rock related kid, a poser, was playing with them, right?
Yeah.
And I found it really stupid, because I was actually playing in the band. I was their guitar player just left, so I was trying to
so you're replacing somebody
better. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I found it really stupid. And then I said, what if I make a video about this stupid thing? Like, punk versus metal. And it was like a 2-minute video or something. And it got so viral. The video went insanely viral. Right now it has like 10 million views or something like that.
That's crazy, dude.
That's crazy. I couldn't believe it. And when that video went up, my YouTube channel got, into the charts, like there with other huge acts, like huge acts.
So people started watching and people started paying attention to what you were doing, which is always a good thing.
That's totally true. A lot of people started watching. A lot of, endorsements started to appear. But the one I wanted was the Gibson one. I wanted to be a part of the Gibson family. And it happened. They wrote me and they said, we want you to be a part of our brand. We like what you do. And it was like 1 year after I was turned out, I was, told that nothing was going to happen.
But you still had the check.
I still had the check.
You still had the check.
And it happened. And, it's like when you're endorsed by such a big company like them, people start to, notice you.
Yeah.
It's not like a small company. It's not like an indie thing. Not like a, custom super, like 10 guitars a year thing. It's like Gibson. So that opened the doors for me to start working with Laney, with Dean Markley at the time, way back then. EMG. I was the first EMG guy in Peru. From Peru, the first Peruvian guy in Dunlop, MXR, in Ernie Ball, Victory Amps, of course.
Yeah, so how did our Victory Amps friends come to find you? Because the Victory Amps, if anybody doesn't know, these guys are some amazing amps made out of the UK. I know people have always compared them to Orange or Marshall, whatever, but they have their own unique sound and stuff. And for me, awesome. Hearing their amps compared to what the others are doing, I mean, it's crazy. And I'm no guitar hero or any guitar player or anything like that. I'm just a music guy, and I know music, I would like to think. But how did that come across? Because I know Alex Aslan and Anthony is amazing. Ant, love you. Hope to see you soon. And Simon Clark. And then, of course, you got the great Martin Kidd, who is amazing and really does a lot of great stuff with Victory. So how did that come about?
Actually, that happened at NAMM 2019. I talked to Aslin. We met at the Gibson booth. I remember we started talking there, and she kind of asked me, what do you do? And I said, I actually play guitar, and I play this like Kramer guitars. I'm going to do a quick show. You maybe you should come. It's a quick set. And then she told me, you know what? I think give me your shipping address, because I would like you to have something from Victory. And I'm like, really? That would be really fun. And I thought she was joking. I thought that, she was actually joking. Actually, Aslin is such a great character, man. And she's really awesome.
She is.
And one day, I just opened the door and there's this Victory Amps, head.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. And the best thing about it is that it arrived just in time, because I had a show opening for Bring Me the Horizon.
Ooh,
like
nice.
A huge, like a big show, like a festival kind of show. And I took the head there, and everybody was shocked, because it was probably the first Victory amp in the city, and probably the first Victory amp that was gonna sound in a big festival, right? And it was I gotta say, that show in particular was one of the most successful shows of my career. First, because nobody likes, in Peru, people actually hate the opening act. They hate support acts. And if they're from Peru, they hate it even more.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. But no, we did great. We did amazing. It was one of the best shows ever. And, I thought that everything, went into place with the victory thing and the show. And, man, it was really cool. And I couldn't be any more grateful to Victory because all of the things we've been doing, like online, I try to carry the flag as much as possible.
Absolutely.
As much as possible.
So I want to transition. And I know when we met, it was a professional wrestling thing. So I want to ask you, how did your love for professional wrestling start? And how did you get involved with professional wrestling or watching it? And who were some of your favorites? Who were some of the people that you gravitated to? Because I know that Jericho was one of them. But how did you get involved? And was it on television down there? And who inspired you to really just like, oh my God, I love professional wrestling? I got to hear this.
Monday Night Wars. That was the thing, the Monday Night Wars. Of course, we're talking about Peru in the 90s. So everything would arrive here like way later. So the thing is that one of my closest friends had cable TV and he had access to the USA Network. So we could watch Raw is War and Warzone, back in the Attitude Era.
Yeah. And
here in Peru, actually, a Peruvian channel had access to WCW Nitro and WCW Thunder.
Wow.
And yes, so most of it, whatever, my memories about it are, this when Mike Tyson was involved in WrestleMania. That was insane because Mike Tyson 15. No, 14.
Was
WrestleMania 14? Yes, 14.
Okay. That was, 15 was a Big Show. Sorry.
Yeah. And the thing, it got us so hooked on it because we felt that was real life. There was no, they didn't know who was going to win or lose. That was real life to us. It was like, man, this is absolutely happening. But at the same time, we like that, kind of, the Generation Next and the Attitude Era and all this, super bloody matches and stuff back then, right now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're really hooked on the WCW thing because of the cruiserweight division. We loved it. And I think that we loved it a lot because there were a lot of Latino faces, like Latino guys there.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Psychosis, Conan. I mean, like there was a lot of those guys coming in at that time.
Let me tell you a fun story about it. There was these classic matches between Jericho and Ultimo Dragon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that they never, ever gave a mic to Ultimo Dragon. They never gave a mic to him. So everybody in Peru thought that he was Mexican because he was Ultimo Dragon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that when the video game arrives in Peru, the WCW video game, the characters would rant. You would play their rants.
Yeah.
And you would go to Ultimo Dragon, and I'm going to listen to Ultimo Dragon's rant. And it was like, man, there's no way this is Spanish at all. And that's how we found out he was Japanese.
Really?
And then, everybody thought that he was a South American guy. He was in a mask. He's called Ultimo Dragon, El Último Dragón. And man, everybody thought
habla español. I've worked with him. I know him. I mean, he's fluent in Spanish. He's Japanese, but he's fluent in Spanish. Like when I worked with him a few years ago with Pentagon, we actually put the match together in Spanish. And it was so surreal awesome. to sit there and to be discussing the match, and we're talking in Spanish. Here he is, his Japanese legend, and Penta, who's his luchador and legend and stuff. And we're sitting there, and we're talking about everything in Spanish and stuff. And it was such an amazing thing because I always thought he was like a Japanese guy, because you see him, and I knew that under the mask it was a Japanese guy, but but the fact that he went to Mexico and he got his start there, and that's why he's Ultimo Dragon, but working with him, I mean, he was amazing, but that's funny, that he was your guy that you just went, oh my God,
yeah,
completely different.
We thought he was a Latino, for years.
Yeah, that's funny. Was there anybody else in that Attitude Era that you really just gravitated to, and you just went like, these are my guys, or this is my guy?
I think that there were so many back then, but I would have to choose, that brief Shawn Michaels Attitude Era appearance because, well, he was injured, right?
Yeah.
But I think that what he did because he was pure attitude. He had an attitude. It was obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And but I gotta say that my favorites from that era, just before the Attitude Era started, like my guys were Bret Hart and Shawn. I really liked their feud. I really liked what was going on because it was so real.
Yeah.
And it was real, actually.
Yeah, it was. It was realer than a lot of people gave it.
Yeah, that was.
So let me ask you this. So you're living the dream. And what I mean by that is that you're living the dream with Chris Jericho now.
Yeah.
How is that like, man? I mean, because I've been able to do that. Of course, I worked with him and Shawn in 2008 in WWE with their angle and stuff. And, and this is one of the things, that we were going to discuss. You brought it up earlier. I remember being out on tour with them, and I remember seeing some of your stuff. And I remember, when we met, and then when you did the AEW Judas theme, I was floored away because, again, like you said earlier, you make your guitar sing. And for you to do that instrumental was just mind-blowing to me. So when I seen it, I went, this is amazing. Chris Jericho needs to see this. So I sent it to him. And then he hit me up and he says, hey, get the video for me because I'm going to post it. And I remember texting you and telling you that Chris wanted to post it and send me the full video. And you were like, you're kidding me. No.
Yeah, of course.
Is this real? Is this real? Tell everybody about that.
Well, it was such an amazing surprise, man, because as soon as you told me, hey, man, Chris wants to post your video. I was like, are you kidding me? And you told me, can you send it to me? And I'm like typing, the URL to send you the video. Mm-hmm. And then Chris Jericho follows you. I was like, man, I can't believe this is actually happening. And man, that message you sent him was one of those things that actually, that thing doesn't happen, all the time. I will always be grateful for that, man, because now actually I'm in a band with him.
Yeah, there you guys are at quarantine off of the cruise, man. And your documentary that you did that you sent me. I mean, that's amazing. And I had Fernando Castro on here my last episode, and we were talking. We actually mentioned you because it's so crazy and ironic how all of us with this vibe and energy and who we are and stuff, that we all kind of came connected because Fernando, without knowing that I knew you and that knowing that you knew me, he actually did a cover because you did a medley of the Doors, heavy metal. So he put his vocal track to that because he thought it was the greatest awesome. Doors thing. And I'm going to get him to send it to us because I want you to check it out. And the fact
I would love to.
When we were on tour with Chris and Fozzy, we met him in Las Vegas when he was doing Freddie Mercury at the Tropicana. He's the headliner there. And then when you did your AEW thing, your Judas thing, I sent it to Chris. And then now, lo and behold, you're Chris's guitar player in quarantine. And it's so surreal on how all this stuff just kind of just comes together, dude. And we're intertwined like that. To me, I just think it's one of the most amazing things. And it's all about energy and vibe and just being a good human being and just caring about stuff and knowing talented people like yourself. I mean, because like I said, man, like when I see you and Jacob Stevie, do what you guys do. And again, you and Jake really need to do something together. I keep telling him that, and I keep telling you, man.
We're definitely doing something together, man. I really love his playing. He's a really nice guy. He's a really awesome player. Really,
so
really
what was it like when Chris Jericho gets a hold of you and asks you to do this? What was that like?
That was actually really, it was quite a surprise, like one of those surprises that you think, maybe somebody hacked Jericho. But it was, surreal because, I'm going to be honest with you. To me, one of, things that I wanted was maybe having a video of Jericho saying happy birthday to me. Mm-hmm. It was like my, something that I really was hoping to have at some point.
Yeah.
And then I have Jericho, writing me to ask me if I would be able to play in his band. Like I was going to fill in for the guitar player, which is an awesome player. Joe McGinnis. He's a great guy, great guitar player. And he couldn't make it to that gig, so I was going to fill in for him. So I learned the set. We went to the rehearsal. We do the show, and Derek tells me, "You're staying in the band." Told me, "There's no way he actually said, "There's no way I'm letting you go, man. You're staying in this band." It was, I had like, this little thing going, like it would be cool, to have this experience again, like after the first show. And then there it was. He actually, said, "I got a big announcement to do, in the after party. Charlie Parra is the newest member of Quarantine." And I was, shocked. I was shocked because he said it. And, I turned around and there's like, Michael Sweet of Striper saying, "Yeah, Charlie, yeah." And there's Dr. Luther saying, "Yeah, Charlie's a nice guy." And, it was shocking. It was shocking. I was like, man, how come? And after that, I think it's pretty, it's pretty weird, to be honest, to being in a band with the same guy I used to pick in PlayStation games, right? But at the same time, it's really motivating because, the first thing I thought was, I guess I know how to speak English now. Yeah. And the other thing was like, these things happen, like good things can happen. Dreams come true, man. We just got to work hard and keep going, man. I mean, I think that I'm not going to lie to you, but, I had a lot of issues, like personal life issues that I was struggling with.
And that's the thing, we've talked about these issues too, because of course, my story, man, the issues that I've had and things that I've been going through. And, that's the cool thing, that we connected not only on an entertainment platform or as friends or entertainers or whatever, we like to call ourselves. We connected as people, man. We connected as bros. And I think that's special, man. And, when you have these types of connections, you always want to make sure that you're going to nurture them and make sure, that you're going to help people along the way and stuff. So, when you and I started having these discussions and we were, talking about life and things that have happened and, you're playing, like I said, man, when I see you play, it's just complete magic. So when I seen what you did with the Judas thing, I went, Chris Jericho needs to see this, man. Chris needs to know who Charlie is. And because I remember you had told me that you had opened up for him and stuff and you had met him briefly and it was like, "Oh, okay, picture. Yeah, thanks." And then when you did the AEW Judas theme, I went, he needs to hear about this. And he did. And lo and behold, man, look where you are today, bro. And I'm so happy for you, man. So proud of you, man, because you really deserve this. And I'm glad that you're living that dream with Chris Jericho.
Oh, thanks, man. It's that's the thing. It's like most of my friends always told me like I was living the dream, but I think that this is actually what living the dream is, because it's professional wrestling, rock music, people you look up for, and that's insane. that's insane because, like I told you, a lot of good things have happened, and of course, a lot of bad things as well. Yeah. But man, this is insane. And it's insane that it happened in year 2021. It's insane. It like a really bad year for everyone. But that single thing that I was able to play a couple shows with the band was a highlight of it. It would be really, I would be lying if I said that 2021 was a bad year for me, because it wasn't. It wasn't.
And I'm very humbled and taken aback that you give me credit for connecting that dot with Jericho and putting you in touch and stuff, man. I'm really humbled by that. But to be honest with you, you're talented. You're an amazing guy, man. So why not help somebody out, or to make that connection? And I'm so humbled that you feel that I was a part of that, and I can't tell you how that makes me feel, dude. I'm really blessed. I really am.
Oh man, come on, man. I had to tell you, I will always be grateful for that. I won't forget it. And again, thanks, man, because it's actually living the dream. It's a living the dream thing, and I don't know till when that living the dream thing's gonna go, but so far, man, I wouldn't change it for anything. So thanks, Marty. I truly appreciate it, man.
I appreciate that. We were talking about YouTube and MySpace and everything. I know that you're a very big self-promotion guy, and I really wish that I could really do some of what you're doing as far as self-promotion, because you're like a self-promotion machine with YouTube and videos and things of that nature, man. And I know you have your YouTube channel, you have your social medias and stuff like that. So is that something that's very time consuming, or is it something that you do because it's part of what you do?
I gotta say that it's a 24/7 job. It's a 24/7 job. It wasn't that way before, but now it's like a war. It's like a war because the algorithm and everything just hides your content from everyone. Because there's so much content. There's so much things online that it would take a lot of it's a lot of work actually. I gotta say that sometimes, you get burned out by it. I know a lot of, musicians and players that, got into the social media stuff, and some of them, or they got too late, or they are not motivated, or they just, they do this mistake that is, if they upload something, they share something, and it's not successful, they stop doing it. And that's not how it works. Right. I mean, for example, in my case, my YouTube channel, of course, people are always going to prefer my older stuff. Yeah. People are going to prefer my older stuff. That's a great picture.
Yeah, it is.
That's a great picture.
It is.
And,
and that's what I mean. Self-promotion. You did this. You work your ass off, and to see this, when I seen this again, when I see you play, I smile. But when I see you with somebody like Satchel, who's an amazing player as well, and
one of the best.
And then this is such a great photo because it's two amazing guitar players, and to see this, you just go like, these guys mean business. And and like I tell everybody, like my friends, dude, I'm truly blessed to know you, man. And I kick myself and I go, man, I know these guys. I do that a lot.
That's awesome, Marty. Same here, man. Every time you appear in documentaries, I said, I can't believe that guy's my friend, man, because you're always there, man. I mean, you've been on the Undertaker's documentary all over it.
Yeah.
All over it. But yeah, man, the self-promotion thing is, I think I haven't done bad at all, because a lot of people here in my country, for example, in Peru, they tell me, you should appear more on TV. Why you're not on TV? Why you're not on the radio? Why you're not on stuff like that? And all I can say is, man, I don't think that I would be a Gibson guy if I was in the Peruvian TV. They don't watch Peruvian TV, right? Yeah. So I don't think festivals. I would be. Yeah, I wouldn't be. It's like, why you should be more on the TV, on the newspapers and things. I would say, man, I don't think Chris Jericho is ever gonna have a Peruvian newspaper in his house, right?
Right.
You know, the most Peruvian thing he has in his house is Peruvian pisco, like an alcoholic drink that I brought to him, like, you know.
And he had Charlie Parra in his house.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But you know, that's what I mean. It's like, for example, Victory Amps, they're not gonna watch Peruvian TV shows ever.
Yeah.
So I think that what I've done so far, it's been good. I know there's a long way to keep going, you know, but I think so far, I think it's a good, you know, we're in a good point right now with what I'm doing with the brands. The new guitar is selling well. I try to do, you know, to get in touch with the fans in different ways, you know, like now. Yeah,
that's what I love. You know, that's the other thing that I love about your self-promotion and YouTube and your videos and what you do, that there's so much interaction with your fans. And like the documentary that you sent me with the Jericho cruise and stuff, how you get your audience involved in what you do. Your content is so appealing because it's so personal, and you make people feel like they're actually there with you and they're experiencing this, and your humbleness comes across, because I always like when you say it in Spanish, you know, oh my God, this is incredible. This is incredible. This is a dream. And I go, it is, man. It is incredible. You know,
I gotta say that, you know, it's kind of cool because I started doing these blog things when I said, well, what I do now on YouTube, because I said, I don't want to play covers anymore. I don't want to play medleys anymore. What do I do? What if I share what I'm living every time I go on a show, every time I go on a big festival or stuff like that? I post things from big festivals to the cruise to super small, shitty, horrible shows. I share everything there.
Yeah.
And I think it's been a good content change so far.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, man, I really love the fact that you bring your audience in and you make them a part of it. And that's what it really is getting your audience engaged and getting them involved with what you're doing and letting them know that, you know, that, hey, you know, I'm just like you. You know, I just happen to be blessed, and I'm lucky that I get to have this platform to do what I love, you know? And I think we're really blessed. And, you know, that's why, like, for me, a lot of the aha moments, you know, I pinch myself all the time because, you know, I know Chris Jericho. He's a friend of mine. I know Shawn Michaels. You know, I know, you know, different players and different people. I know you, and, you know, what you are and what you do. I mean, I just go, man, I'm really friends with, like, Fernando Castro, who does Freddie Mercury, who was on here, Brittany Young, Chavo Guerrero. You know, those are aha moments for me because I grew up dirt poor, welfare, food stamps. My dad was in prison. I didn't have a pot to piss in. But growing up, you know, I didn't know that I was going to have all these incredible friends and relationships and be able to do the things that I was able to do. So now when I get to do this and have a platform to talk to my friends like yourself, it's really surreal. And these aha moments are like, I'm really doing this. You know what I mean?
I totally know what you mean. The aha moments. I'm going to call them like that now. I totally know what you mean.
Yeah, bro. It's just incredible, you know, that we get to do this, and we get to share it with a lot of different people, you know, on these platforms and stuff, man. So, you know, like I said, man, I'm just blessed that I have great people in my life, and I have a great circle of people, and, you know, it's amazing. But, you know, when I see you and I see Jacob and I see other people perform when I'm not doing something, I always geek out. Because you guys are doing what you're doing and you're performing like this right here, for example.
Yeah.
Like
that was intense.
That to me was incredible, because when you sent me that video for the first time and I seen you playing, and for my audience who don't know, would you mind describing what that was?
That was the NAMM Games 2019. The NAMM Games opening ceremony. I played a guitar solo there at the National Stadium in Peru, and that was on TV like for millions of people.
How many people were in attendance in the stadium?
I don't know exactly, but it was packed. And I know exactly it was packed. And those rehearsals were not actually for my performance. Those were for me not falling down that mountain, man. That was the main reason I was doing those rehearsals. Everybody was scared that I would, fall off the cliff. But, well, that didn't happen. I slipped a little bit. The cameras were filming something else, so that was good.
But, what's great about this performance is that you're literally running up this hill and these obstacles, and you're still playing, and you're shredding, and you're rocking out, and you're doing your thing, and it's the Pan Am Games, man. It's huge. I mean, this isn't just music. This is going into sports. This is going into national countries and people seeing this. And this is an opening ceremony of the Pan Am Games. And, to be asked to do that and to be performing, and dude, I'm talking to you. You're that guy who did that. And again, that's the Marty the Geek that is inside of me. And it's always going to be inside of me because I get to have friends like yourself who have done some amazing things like that in this lifetime.
And that was quite an aha moment. Definitely. The Gibson guys were so happy about it. They were so, shocked about that moment because they did not expect to see a Kramer in that stage, in that mountain.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about the exposure for them, with you playing a Kramer there and the world is watching, so to speak. Those are moments, man. Those are moments, and those are moments, and Jim Ross has always said it too, the world is watching, the world is watching. And, when the world is watching, it's a pretty big stage, to be on. And you've been on that stage. Chris has been on that stage. I've been on that stage, and there's no better feeling to that, of self-achievement going that, what, I worked my ass off and here I am. And, we continue to do it. And it's so amazing. It's so amazing, man.
It's amazing, man. It's, it's one thing that, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. And we got to work hard to keep that blessing going.
Yes, it is. So let me ask you, man, where can Life After 3 people find you? What's going on with Charlie and his guitar magic?
Well, you can find me as Charlie Parra on YouTube, Charlie Parra on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. I'm in most social networks. I just want to, tell you that on TikTok, I only post stupid shit because that's why I have TikTok. But my YouTube channel, that's where the blogs are. And Instagram, I also, I like doing polls and stuff there. So
yeah,
you can find me there.
Yeah. So where can they find your Kramer endorsed guitars at? Where can they find those at?
Any Gibson dealer should be able to have that guitar. I think that one is already sold out.
Wow.
But the new one, like the Kramer Vanguard, it's still out there. It's a great guitar. It's a 24 fret guitar, and I look like I'm having a sharpshooter perform on me with that face.
No, man, you're in the moment, man. You're in front of thousands of people in a stadium at the Pan Am Games, dude. So you're in your element, man. I get it. And again, Marty the Geek is like, for all the stuff that I've been blessed to do, I mean, as far as like being an in-ring performer with professional wrestling and all the other stuff, I always wanted to be on stage as a guitar player, Paul Stanley, Randy Rhoads, or whatever, to get up and be able to play a guitar like that. That's never going to happen, but I live vicariously through you and Jacob and other amazing players that I've been blessed to know. And when I see you guys get up there, it's guitar magic. It really is, because as much as I am talented in the professional wrestling world, I see you guys with that talent when you guys just, going up and down the fretboard and playing and solos and, all that other good stuff, man. So it's clearly guitar magic. That's what I call it whenever I see you and Jacob play, man. It's guitar magic. And if people haven't heard you or seen you play, they're in for a very, very amazing surprise because you are a true player, my friend. You really are.
Oh man, thank you so much, Marty. Truly appreciate it. And it's a blessing to be still doing this for a living.
Yeah, so hopefully we get to do the NAMM show in June. Fingers crossed, that this pandemic and everything is starting to go down. I mean, here in California things are starting to show a little bit of maybe. But other than that, man, I mean, we can find you on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Is there anything that you got coming up that you want to promote that you can let people know?
Well, actually, to stay in touch with my YouTube channel, because I'm releasing original stuff in March, and it's going to be really good. I have some really cool guests there. Dino Caceres is there. Gus G
Fear
is
Factory,
there. Yeah, so it's going to be cool. It's going to be a cool, original music album. So,
awesome.
Yeah, stay tuned to the YouTube channel. And, yeah, man, thank you. It's been a really awesome chat, man. I loved it.
Thank you so very much, Charlie. It was a pleasure to have you, my brother. I'm looking forward to seeing you sooner than later in person so we can, sit down and have a drink. And
definitely
share some stories and get some stuff going, because we keep talking that we're going to be doing some work together and some other stuff. So I can't wait for that. But my brother, thank you so very much. Congratulations on working with Jericho, living the dream. Congratulations on the guitars. I mean, like I've told you before in text, I'm going to get mine sooner than later. So, thank you so very much. I'll have you sign it and I'll hang it up. But thank you so very much for being here, taking the time, man. And I wish you nothing but the greatest of success, my brother.
Oh, man, same to you, man. Nothing but the best, much health and happiness, man. And let's keep going, man, because, I think, like I told you, I think we're blessed. We got to keep working hard so that blessing still goes on.
Amen. Amen, brother. Thank you so much, brother. We will talk soon. Take care, my brother.
Definitely, brother. I got to tell you something. Just one thing.
Yes.
This is the first time we've ever talked, and we did not use that in the end of the day phrase. First time ever we have not used that phrase.
Wow. That's awesome. Very cool.
I just noticed.
All right, brother. Thank you so much, man. We will talk sooner than later, man. Thank you so much.
Definitely, brother. Thank you so much.
All right.
You too, my man.
Later. All right, folks. There you go. Charlie Parra. He's an amazing guy. I hope you guys